Okay, I had a thought that started during a car ride this weekend, and it ended up turning into a whole therapy level realization about anxiety. So, we're talking about lanes today, like driving lanes, but also emotional ones too. All right, let's go. So, this weekend we were driving into Chicago. We had the Dave Matthews Band concerts Friday and Saturday, super fun. Friday night took us 2.5 hours to get down there. We didn't take the train. I know we drove. We bought parking at Soldier Field, whatever. And then Saturday wasn't as bad. It was only an hour and a half. But we were fine. We were ready for it. We brought some snacks along, some drinks, all that fun stuff, and then just made a whole night of it, both nights. So today we rest and we hang out and we'll do some shopping or something like that. But anyways, we were driving in Chicago. And, no one was going anywhere, but everybody was moving around. It was kind of chaotic, that kind of thing. So people were switching lanes constantly. Do you ever see that? You ever sit in traffic and you think to yourself, now, why did they just do that? Why did they just go in front of me? Why did they just move over? And they don't go anywhere, right? They just keep sitting in traffic, but they keep switching lanes. Like, we'd be going along just fine. Then someone would drift over 2 lanes for no reason, really. Maybe they thought that lane was moving faster, but in traffic, especially going into Chicago and sometimes leaving it now because of the construction, no one really goes anywhere unless you're exiting. So, or even worse, this weekend, on Friday, not Saturday so much, someone would get impatient and swerve into a lane that was barely moving just to swerve back 2 minutes later. They kind of would go back and forth. And then don't even get me started. Oh my gosh, it would always give me stress and a little anxiety when we would see the motorcycles go in the middle. Oh gosh, it takes one car to move over, but whatever. That's not for me to judge, not Judge Judy today. But every time someone switched lanes like that, it caused this ripple effect. The car behind them had to brake. Then the car behind that car had to brake even harder because maybe they were thinking we were moving along, but we really were, and so on. Pause, brake. Eventually, it slows everyone down in that lane. And then if that car moves back to the lane or back to another lane, then it's just causing this ripple effect all the way down 4 lanes across. Even people who were cruising just fine in their own lane would all of a sudden just like move over and be like, what are you doing? I'd have to brake. The person behind me would have to brake. You'd have to look in your rearview mirror. It just causes a big pause, right? So if everyone would just stay in their damn lane, traffic truly would be faster. Now, are we going to be able to reach 50 billion people that travel every day and tell them don't switch lanes until you're ready to exit? No. But hear me out. Because, of course, my anxiety brain would kick in. I'd be like, wait, isn't this exactly how emotions work? Our brains do this too. So we're cruising along in our own emotional lane, trying to just get through the day. And then, someone comes into our lane. Something pulls us out of just cruising along. And what do we start doing? We start comparing ourselves to someone else. We take on someone else's mood. We overthink a comment. We feel responsible for fixing something that maybe wasn't ours to fix. It's like we just swerved across 2 emotional lanes, or someone did that to us and caused a mental traffic jam. Are you getting me? Maybe? Just like in traffic, it slows everything down when those kind of things happen. So picture this. You're driving along and then something comes through and it makes you hit your brakes, makes the person behind you hit your brakes. Very comparable to emotional stress and lane changing. Our focus, our peace, our sleep, everything gets gridlocked. All right, so here's the science check. I actually looked this up because, that's who I am. There's legit science behind this. Traffic studies show that frequent lane switching doesn't save time. It actually causes slowdowns behind the swerving driver and increases the risk of accidents. It disrupts the natural flow. There's a fancy name for it. I think it's like kinematic wave theory or kinematic wave theory, something like that. I remember my friend Drew telling me about it, and it proves it. But here's the simple version. When someone moves impulsively between lanes, everyone around them has to adjust, overreact, and reset their pace. Okay, so does that sound familiar? Emotionally, we do the same thing. We swerve into guilt, into other people's drama, into fear spirals, and everyone around us and inside us have to react. We lose our rhythm. We get overstimulated. We get burnt out. And then we wonder, why do we feel so off all the time? So let's be honest. I've kind of been that swerving car lately. I've had a little stress at work, not so much stress at home, but, just some things. I want to get some other things done. I want to finish my book. It's not happening. So instead of staying in my emotional lane, making my goals where I know what I'm responsible for and where my boundaries are clear, I've been drifting. So I'm that driver that's going across the lanes. I'm taking on too much. I'm worrying about how other people are feeling. I'm wondering if I should be doing more, giving more, explaining more, finishing that book. Can I do better at work? Why don't these people like me? Blah, blah, blah. Who posted on this? What does their comment mean? Oh, forget it. And you know what it's done? Probably the same thing for you if you're relating. It slowed everything down in that other lane. It paused. It made something break. My energy slowed down. My clarity slows down. My peace slows down. It makes you tired. Sometimes some of us have had the brakes on for days. Some of us have been swerving. Let's get over that. Here's what we should try. Maybe it'll help you too. Before responding to a situation that, number one, is going to make you switch lanes or have someone else come into your lane where you're going to have to brake. So emotionally, mentally, even in the car, ask yourself, and I'm going to ask myself this too, is this my lane? Is this their lane? I'm going to avoid if they're moving into my lane and it's not what I want. And then if something's bothering me, is this the lane I need to be in? Two ways to look at it. Do I actually need to swerve into this? Is my exit coming up? Do I need to move over? Or should I just stay in my lane and keep going? Keep the goals, keep the plans, keep going. And another question would be, what happens if I just let it pass? So, is this my lane? Should I stay here? Do I need to move over for an exit? Or do I need to keep my boundaries up to stay in my lane, safely in my lane? Do I actually need to swerve into a lane to get off on the exit? Do I need to hit the brakes because someone's in my lane? And what happens if I just let them pass? Sometimes just letting the thing pass without reaction, it is the healthiest thing to do. Sometimes you do have to react, though. Sometimes you got to hit the brakes and you got to reassess. I get it, but it puts a pause on everything else. We can't let that happen. I'm going to also remind myself it's okay to change lanes intentionally. You can change lanes intentionally. If you need help, if you need to speak up, that's a valid lane change. If you truly need to exit, but not every honk, not every flash of headlights, not every erratic driver on that emotional highway or on that real highway deserves our energy. Maybe today, just try staying in your lane. Stay focused on you. Stay focused on your goals. Brake if you have to because someone swerved into your lane, but don't let it pause you for long. Keep in your lane. Keep going. Check your mirrors. Notice what's going on around you. Don't feel like you have to respond to every single thing. Don't get mad. Someone swerves, they hit their brakes. Don't get mad. Just pause, hit your brakes, think about where you're going, stay in your lane if you need to. If you need to swerve over it because there's an exit, take that exit. That's meant for you. When you stay in your lane, you actually help the entire system run more smoothly. And I'm talking about your brain. When in doubt, put on your blinker. Let someone know you're switching, but only if it's necessary. And if that person doesn't allow you in when you put on your blinker, as we know, sometimes that happens, it's okay. Take a deep breath. You're going to get over there because you need to intentionally get over there and get off on your exit so that you can continue on with another lane that's going to get you to where you need to go. All right, take a breath. Check your lane. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. You got this. Until next time.